Hello, my name is Madeline, and welcome to this Yin Yoga practice for rest and recovery. So, this is a great practice to do if maybe you have some type of injury or you're just feeling low energy and want something that feels a bit more healing. So, it's going to be pretty gentle today. I recommend if you have a couple blocks, maybe you want to grab them, or a pillow or a bolster, but you don't need them for today's practice. So let's get started with a bit of breath. We'll do a breath pattern where we inhale for a count of 4. You'll hold and retain the breath at the top for a count of 7, and then you'll exhale for a count of 8. So you can begin to exhale all the air out now. Take an inhale through the nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath at the top, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale again through the nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath at the top, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just do a couple more rounds of those at your own pace. One last round. And then whenever you're ready, just returning back to your regular breath. We'll take a little bit of movement if you like, doing some seated cat-cows. You can place your hands on your knees, and then as you inhale, arch the spine up to the sky, looking up, and rounding the back as you exhale. And feel free to take any kind of fluid movement that feels good here. Maybe some circles in one direction, and then the other direction. So really just listening to whatever your body is needing today. And then whenever you're ready, no rush, return back to center. And we'll get into our first yin pose, which will be a reclined butterfly. So you can come to face the front of your mat and begin to come down onto your back. And this is where you might want to have a couple blocks. Not necessary, but if you'd like to use them, you can go ahead. So you can come to lie down on your back. An option if you have a bolster or a pillow to place it underneath the back. And then start to bring the soles of the feet together. And then let the knees come out wide into this diamond-like shape. And you might want to grab a couple blocks and place them underneath the knees just for some additional support, making it even more gentle. And once you're here, just breathing deeply, letting everything go. Notice how the body is feeling. the body melt into the earth. Let's just take a couple more deep breaths here. Taking one last breath. And then whenever you're ready, if you were using those blocks, beginning to gently release them. Place the hands on the outsides of the thighs, and then slowly draw those knees back together, and then bring them into the chest. And maybe you want to rock a couple times side to side, or do some windshield wipers with those legs, just releasing the spine a little bit. And then whenever you're ready, return back to center and we'll prepare for a reclined pigeon. So take that right leg and then place the right ankle on top of the left thigh. And then slowly begin to draw that left thigh in towards the chest. You can either wrap those arms around the back of the left thigh or around the left shin. Just doing whatever feels best in your body. So you should feel a really nice, gentle opening in that right hip. And remember to breathe deeply. Option 2, you can always just place the hands down to your sides if it feels too much to grab the leg. Remember to breathe deeply. And let's take one last deep breath here. And slowly release those hands and place the left foot back on the ground, letting go of the right, and then stretching the legs out long. Just pausing on your back here for a few moments, noticing the difference between the two sides. Take one last deep breath here. And then draw those knees back to center, maybe rocking a couple times side to side before we move into that reclining pigeon on the left. So whenever you're ready, coming back to stillness, and then we'll take that left ankle and place it on top of the right thigh. And then begin to draw the right thigh into the chest. An option to clasp the hands behind the thigh or in front of the shin, or you can just have the hands off to the side. Listening to what feels best in your body and knowing that each side can feel pretty different. And breathing deeply. And take a couple more deep breaths in this reclining pigeon. Taking one more breath and slowly letting it go, dropping the right foot back down to the mat, releasing that left leg. And maybe you want to go for a couple of windshield wipers here, maybe reaching the arms up above you. And again, releasing that spine. And whenever you're finished here, returning back to that position with your legs stretched out in front of you. Just absorbing the effects of that pose for a few moments. And take one more deep breath here. And we're just going to make our way onto our bellies now. So you don't need to change sides. You can just roll over to one side. And then place those hands in front of you as a pillow for your forehead. And then rest the forehead on those hands. So just a gentle opening of the heart. This is a very healing pose, very restful. And breathe deeply into the belly. And take one more deep breath here. Then we're slowly going to roll back over onto our backs. So maybe rolling onto the opposite side that you got into the pose on. And returning to your back. We're going to make our way into a banana asana. So reach the arms up above you. Shift the hips a little over to the left. And then start to walk those feet over to the lower right corner of the mat. And the upper body over to the upper right corner of the mat. So if you just want to stay here in this banana-like shape, that's great. If you want to go a little further, you can cross the left ankle over the right. And maybe grab hold of the left wrist with the right hand, or clasp opposite elbows. And you can always find whatever arm variation works best for you. And breathing into the whole left side body. And we'll take a couple more deep breaths here. And if you had those ankles crossed, beginning to uncross them, letting go of the wrist if you're holding on, and then slowly making your way back to center and pausing at center for a couple of breaths. And whenever you're ready, begin to shift those hips over to the right. And then draw the feet over to the lower left corner of the mat. Then the upper body over to the upper left corner of the mat. Option to cross those ankles and to grab hold of that right wrist with the left hand. And maybe take hold of opposite elbows. Just finding any arm variation that works best for you, knowing each side can be different. And breathe deeply into that whole right side body. And take one more deep breath here. And slowly begin to release those ankles. If you had them crossed, let go of the wrist. Really taking your time. And slide back into center. This time, draw the knees into the chest. Maybe rock a couple times from side to side on your back. And you can continue like this, or if you want to take any final poses or movement before we go into Shavasana, you can go for that. So maybe you want to take a happy baby, maybe a snail pose. And whenever you're ready, no rush at all, slide those legs out long, let the arms drape open to the sides. If you have a bolster or pillow, it can feel nice to place that underneath the knees. And then just surrender into the earth, letting yourself rest and recover. And we're going to close class here on our backs. And I encourage you, if you have time, to stay in this Shavasana for as long as you like. If you're ready to finish practice, you can join me for one last breath. So exhale all the air out now. Take a deep inhale through the nose. And a big sigh out the mouth. I hope you're feeling really relaxed, feeling rested, feeling like you're on the way to some more healing after this practice. And thank you so much for practicing with me. If you'd like to see more Yin Yoga videos like this, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again next time.